When I went through student teaching, it was in 1997, I know, a million years ago, and I knew pretty quickly that I wanted to be at the high school level, not at the middle school level. You don't want to work with that teacher. Hey guys, welcome to Summertime on my patio. I'm not in the car because I don't need to drive anybody around because it's summer vacation and I've got 2 months to do nothing but lounge and make videos for you guys. So I wasn't going to make a video this week, but then I got an email last week from an incoming student teacher named Heath, and Heath has just been on my mind. He is a soon-to-be student teacher who has a special set of circumstances, and I gave him some advice on the blog and folks left comments for him, and if you want to check out that specialized blog post, you can click down there for the link. But in emailing with Heath, it got me thinking about student teachers in general and remembering back my own student teaching experience. So I don't think I'm doing like a series this summer or anything, but there are a couple of just little nuggets of advice that are rolling around my head to share with our newest colleagues, the student teachers who are about to take the helm of the classrooms this fall. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story and then give you a piece of unconventional advice that should help. So I went through my student teaching back in 1997, which I know sounds like a million years ago, but it really doesn't feel that long ago. In my program, we actually chose 2 mentor teachers and we split our assignment in those 2 classrooms. So back then I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a middle school or a high school teacher. So I taught in a 6th grade classroom in the mornings, and then I ran across the street to the high school and taught 11th grade in the afternoons. And I had 2 very different mentor teachers. At the middle school, I'd say I was covering for a teacher who was kind of maybe on the burned out side of things. She'd been doing it a long time. There wasn't a lot of joy in the classroom, and she was more than happy to let go and give me control of everything. At the high school, sorry, there's the microphone there. I'm trying something new to see if I can get better audio, so we'll see. On the high school side of things, I landed with a total rock star. She was the best respected teacher on that campus, Carol Gibson. I'm talking about you. And I loved the time I had with her, and she definitely ran that department and was definitely a mentor and friend to me. So it took no time at all, I'd say within the first few weeks, for me to know that high school was where I belonged. But in looking back over my experience, I think I actually learned more about the craft of teaching at the middle school from that teacher who was sort of so-so. So student teachers, when you're figuring out who your mentors are going to be, your program might let you have 2 like mine did, or you might have 1. I've actually had 2 student teachers that I've been the mentor teacher for over the years, Kevin and Pearl. I'm thinking about you guys. And in their programs, I was their only mentor teacher. So it kind of just depends how your program does it. But I actually am going to give you some counterintuitive advice, and I want you to try to get a placement with not the popular teachers on campus. So in the student teaching program, you'll probably do observations, and then your classmates will probably like write down the names of the teachers they want to work with most, and then it'll be like, who's going to get that teacher, the one that everybody wants to work with? You don't want to work with that teacher. I would say you want to work with one of the sort of mid-range teachers. You'll learn a lot, and that teacher needs you, just like you need that person. So you'll learn what to do and what not to do. And those kids will be super psyched that you are coming in to take the helm. In the middle school class that I was in, I got to do everything right away. At the high school, it was more of a slow drip of letting me take on little bits until she was more comfortable that I was going to not mess everything up. And I get that because I, as the teacher in the classroom, have a hard time letting go with my own student teachers when they come in. So I liked the middle school assignment better because I got to do more stuff. The kids were happy. If you're replacing a rock star teacher, the kids aren't as happy that you're there. Like, they want the really great teacher. And they're a little maybe irritated that they've got to work with you in your nervousness and your paper shuffling. It makes me think of my own daughter. Her elementary school years were not so great. So we're kind of through that zone. But I remember, like, 1st and 2nd grade, it was okay. But 3rd grade, she got assigned the rock star teacher at that elementary school. And we were so excited, only to come to find out the 3rd week of school, the teacher announced that she was pregnant, which is awesome, but meant that she would be gone for most of the year. Womp, womp, womp. So we had a long-term sub and it was fine, but you know, it was just sort of a bummer. So if kids have been looking forward to certain teacher's class and then, you know, you show up, then you'll have to win them over a little extra hard. That being said, just because you're on that campus and not assigned to that particular teacher's room doesn't mean you can't go watch that teacher teach. One of the great things that you need to do as a student teacher is go into other great teachers' classrooms and see what they're doing. One of the best things I ever did when I was a new teacher was I got a list from the principal of his like all-star team, the teachers that he recommended in all kinds of different subject areas. And so I would go to a science class on my prep period, or if I had the morning off, I would go see a Spanish teacher that he had recommended. And I picked up all kinds of great tips in terms of classroom management and actual just like concrete things I do, like games I play, and you know the way I run organize different worksheet stations kind of activity. Just go out there. I'm thinking of the fly swatter game. I got the fly swatter game from a Spanish teacher because it was just super cool and I could adapt that for English class. So just because you don't get the teacher you think you want, that might be a good thing because then you can go watch that teacher in her other classes. So I guess that's my unconventional advice for this week's video is pick a teacher who maybe you're needed there too. Do you know what I mean? Like you're going to help those kids with fresh teaching ideas and you might help that teacher get excited and be a breath of fresh air. So think about that for your placement. If you don't get your #1 pick, it's probably good. You'll probably learn a ton more. All right, Heath, all the student teachers who are coming in this fall, good luck to you. If you have questions or concerns as you're working through your journey, just reach out to me at the blog. I'm not as good about responding to YouTube comments because I'm starting to get overwhelmed with all the work. Summertime is better, but sometimes they slip through. On the blog though, I get to everyone every time. So if you message me through the blog, that lands in my email and I see that. Whereas if you leave a YouTube comment, I don't always get all of those notifications because, you know, I'm busy and I forget to go back and check, and then there's a bunch of them, and then I don't know. Anyway, so I'm around on YouTube and I'll try, but if you really need help, the blog is where you want to go, and there's links down there for that too. All right, you guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, or just go on over to the blog and read a little bit. I hope you're having a great summer. Get ready. The kids will be back so soon. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.